Meta Madness, Group B, everybody! We got Blackheart's Bay as our starting map in a best of 5 series. Scuffed team against Heroes Lounge Fan Club. I had to rename the red team because they were called like, is this a Heroes Lounge team or something like that? And it was just way too long for the overlay, so I dubbed them the Fan Club right now. But again, if you're not really familiar with Meta Madness, then a quick explanation of the rules. Meta Madness is a tournament concept that is designed to shut up all of the people that are constantly complaining about how they're tired of seeing Genji and Hanzo. So we have 2 rules in order to make that happen. Rule number 1, we have some pre-banned heroes. Those heroes cannot be played in the entire tournament, and those heroes are listed right there. This is the bans for the group stage. Very important. We have 10 heroes banned for the group stage. For the playoffs, we will have more heroes banned. So again, group stage thing. In addition, there's a second rule. The second rule says that every hero played within a series cannot be played again. So if you see a hero played in the first game, that hero cannot be played again in game number 2, 3, 4, and 5, and so on and so forth. Which obviously means that if you're getting to game number 4, game number 5, all of a sudden that hero pool is shrinking very rapidly and really forces the teams to think outside of the box. So quite some shenanigans going on there. Also, we have another rule for this tournament, and it's a little bit different. So the starting map is always predetermined. We just wanted to make it a bit more interesting on the first map, because obviously on map number 1, the most heroes are still available for the teams to pick. So to shake things up a little bit, we decided that we will rotate Blackheart's Bay, Haunted Mines, and Hanamura as the starting map. Those maps are technically not in the map pool, so the players can't really pick them themselves, but it will always be one of those maps that we have at as the opener to make things a little bit more interesting here. Same time, also huge shout out right now once again to all of the people supporting me and the channel on Patreon. Without the patrons, this would not be possible. So if you are interested to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports alive, to help us create new tournaments like this, like the map tournament that we had recently or here Meta Madness, then head over to patreon.com/Khaldor and you can support all of this there. As I said in the past, it's super difficult to actually get sponsors together for Heroes of the Storm because it's not really a game that a lot of companies have faith in. Hard to blame them, considering that they're looking over to Blizzard and they're seeing a company that doesn't have faith in their own game, so why would they invest? You know, that's pretty much the reason. So at the end of the day, it's the community that has to come together here. We're doing what we can to set these tournaments and events up, so if you want to support that effort, head over to patreon.com/Khaldor and check it out. And it gives us beautiful picks like this one. We get the Vikings in game number 1 already. There's also a few things with the teams and the players that are participating here that we have to talk about later. First of all, we have on the side of the red team, for example, Gimli from WTN. That's a team that played in Group A, but Gimli he's been poached pretty much. So he's playing here for the Heroes Lounge FC. Pudgenox is a sub here today. And Scuff team said like, hey, we don't care that he played last team that he played last week in Group A for another team because they were short on players, so it's totally fine. But things here, as you can see, are already getting pretty special. Now, interestingly enough, I'm looking over to the blue team and I'm seeing a Greyman and I'm seeing a Tyrael. If we are getting a Morales pick over there, that could be a backdoor strategy with Vikings. That's actually interesting. I don't really think that's what's gonna happen here, but just throwing it out there, that might not be the dumbest idea that I've seen so far. So there is a little bit of an option. I mean, either way, you're looking at Blackguards and you're looking at the red team and you're seeing immediately 2 globals that they're running here on the first map, plus Arthur's and Lucio. I mean, to be fair, Arthur's biggest problem is that he can't really disengage or engage in fights outside of the Howling Blast, so Lucio mitigates that problem to an extent since he just speeds him up. And Arthur's is kinda alright against Greymane. There's obviously already 10 heroes that are not available, and some of those really are quite strong at the front line. Some of the standard frontliners are already eliminated. more for the playoffs. I mean, this is the warm-up. This is the warm-up. They go for it. There's Morales and there's Artanis. Guys, told you. They are going for this together with the Vikings. I haven't seen that with the Vikings yet, but they're going for a backdoor strategy with Vikings. It's the double whammy right there, and I'm all here for it. The Vikings can go and collect doubloons, and then they can try and turn them in, keep the map control, get the experience, and then they can go for the backdoor strategy as well. I saw the Greymane, I saw the tier, and I was like, wait a second. Vikings might not necessarily fit into that pick traditionally, but that's super interesting. And we're getting Ragnaros in game number 1. And it's already getting wild from game 1 onwards. Ragnaros, I mean, I think the thought behind it is that Ragnaros comes in and helps with this trade to save a keep, but considering that we have Morales to interrupt him and maybe even a swap from Artanis, this might not be as easy as they currently are thinking. Either way, game number 1, everybody, Blackheart's Bay. There's a lot to talk about here. Scuff team against the Heroes Lounge fan club. We got on the left side the blue team with Mr. Taiko and Tyrael. Master Chips on the Vikings. We got Hanzo on Lieutenant Morales. He's a distant cousin of Bazooka. Jhar on Greymane. Mindhog on Artanis for his ult more than anything else. And over on the right side we got the red team with Gimli on Falstad. Grain Bure on Arthurs. We got Valla on Lucio, Pachnox on Dehaka, and Bokken on Ragnaros. So a couple of things to talk about right from the get-go. This is definitely a backdoor strategy. So if you're not quite familiar with this, what pretty much happens is at level 10, Morales goes for the medivac. You are just medivacing the entire team over to the opponent's keep, and then when the opponent is attempting to defend while you are trying to take the keep down, Tyrael drops the Sanctification, Artanis is using his ult to give them a little bit more time, blinding everybody, and Greymane is the one that is designed to take everybody down. This is a pretty powerful strategy that can definitely work out for you, but one of the problems that a lot of teams have, first blood right there already for the blue team, is that they also need to take a fort down, because the whole idea is you go and medivac to a keep, you take it down, and then afterwards you just attack the core over and over again. There's a couple of problems with this. Now, problem number 1, if your opponent does a really nice job on the defense, it's going to be difficult for you to simply take a fort down, and then you cannot attack the core. So that's already where things can go very wrong, as we've seen in some of the Group A games, actually. The next problem is also that every single time that you're going for the backdoor, you will lose the heroes that are joining the fight, which means that your opponent is taking a lead in experience. So it seems like the Vikings are actually serving multiple purposes here. Purpose number 1, they will very likely not join Morales and the rest of the team when they're going for the keep. So they will still stay on the lanes and give the team experience, which will then help them to not fall too far behind after the other heroes get wiped out after they take the keep, if everything goes according to plan. I would assume that the goal number 2 is that they are going to try and turn in while the team goes for the keep. And that's actually pretty important, because right now, with the current way Blackheart's Bay is set up, and after the changes to the fountains on the forts, one turn-in is all that you need to take a fort down. So very important things here already happening right from the get-go, thanks to the draft that we are seeing. But this is definitely going to be very, very spicy. So it should be a pretty interesting game that we're seeing from them. Ragnaros, as I explained a little bit earlier, was very likely picked simply for his trade, so that he can try and protect whichever structure gets attacked by the opponent. Ah, nice kill by Greymane. Jumped deep into the backline to take Arthurs down as he was trying to retreat. The problem with Ragnaros trying to go for this is that it's pretty telegraphed, so they know exactly what's happening. In this case, all that they need to do is they have to make sure that Morales is keeping her grenade ready, and whenever Ragnaros is starting the channel, just grenade him up and then play that game. So that's currently what they're going to try and do here. But it's going to be super interesting if that works out for them or not. Cellular Reactor on level 4. We also get the Insatiable over here. Meatball build for Ragnaros. And, well, off we go. We got the hammer gains up in here. Vikings are controlling the top. Now, there are obviously some really nice heroes also on the side of the red team, especially Falstad with the Mighty Gust can be absolutely powerful against this kind of composition. It's going to be a little bit of a battle between the Sanctification and the Mighty Gust. If the Gust hits perfectly and Sanct doesn't, then it will be difficult to take some of these structures down. So it's a super interesting idea from both of the teams here and how they want to play this. And already enormous pressure now at the bottom of the map, as you can tell. They're trying to take the fort down, and Ragnaros is already reacting to this. Now he does it early on, which means that by level 10 he will still have the trade back up again, or at least he should. And that's super important for defending the keep itself. Yeah, nice! The Hogger with the interrupt attempt over here. They already have 6 doubloons that they turned in, so this is getting quite fancy. The Hogger came in just in time, but the team has a lot of doubloons still, and the Vikings, as I said earlier, they could turn in. Tannis does what he does best. He's dying, and it might even be the end of Tyrael. So Tyrael is about to go down too, and that is now kill number 3 for the fan club. Alright, so far so good. Still a lead in experience for the blue team, mainly because they're still rocking the Vikings over here. And we have on the Vikings 4 doubloons, which means if they successfully turn in, then there's the fort that will fall. And this is actually, again, important. So once level 10 hits, the red team has to defend. They got to. There's no other option for them. Which means that the Vikings have the entire map to turn in. There's nobody that's going to interrupt them. So, pretty important here. We have once again the chests up, so more doubloons on the ground. And off we go. 1 level until 10 hits, and then the real fun is going to begin here. But the party is definitely on. Rune tap, look at that. Rune tap for Arthurs. Okay, got me intrigued. Now, with that being said, the first shots are fired from the red team, so this fort is now going to fall. They won't be able to hold that. Not gonna matter for the strategy that they're currently playing out here, but still something to keep in mind. A lot is gonna hinge on the first attack. A lot is gonna hinge on that very, very first attack with the medivac. And they need to escape here. They're likely going to lose Artanis. If they lose a hero right now, it's going to be super unfortunate. There's the ults. Even Sanctification is being used. It's going to delay everything, but they're killing Lucio. They kill Lucio, and they might even get more. No, not quite. Ragnaros is super low, and Greymane comes in for the kill. Tyrael is dead as well. They're trying value. 7 doubloons! Can they kill the Hogger? Yes, they can! Oh, they have 23 doubloons! 23 doubloons! Synthra is being used here. I don't think that it's going to matter. Yeah, Anzuka should probably move back here, but hasn't done that yet. Morales calling the medivac back in, so they're using all of their ults. They're not even backdooring. So up to this point, they haven't even started to go for any backdoor moves. Didn't really work out that way. Lava wave. Yep, is going to get another minion wave here. But of course, as I said, the first turn-in has now happened for the blue team, which means that they can now easily attack the fort in the middle. This one is going to fall. The one at the bot lane has nearly been destroyed. Morales has her medivac back up in 12 seconds, and they're also getting very, very close to the Sanctification. So they're in a very good spot. Really good spot here. But they're fighting this out in the middle. So, yeah, they're losing Artanis again. Now, if this keeps happening, then they won't be able to go for a backdoor at all. Nice attempt to move away here, but nope, that was not quite played out, and now they're losing the doubloons. It's a little bit tricky. Now, one of the reasons why I didn't go for the backdoor was, of course, that Morales was holding way too many doubloons, and since you know that you're losing every single hero when you go for the backdoor, they didn't want to give those doubloons over to the red team. But now, since they were forced into that fight in the middle, it happened anyways. So this is a bit of a problem with going for the backdoor strategy. If you really want to dive on one of those keeps, you better not hold a lot of doubloons, and that's problematic, to say the least, right now. So 6 kills to 6, 13 to 12, shots fired across the map. We have another fort destroyed topside. A scuffed team is losing that. And now the big question. Sanctification is gone for another 30 seconds. He lost it in an attempt to take down or to save Morales. But can they really make the proper play now? They have to at some point go and try and make it work. I mean, technically they don't have to, right? They could just play it out normally. I don't think they will. Eventually they're going to start attacking structures with that. At least I would expect this. But the game is not going too bad for them. A little bit of experience, structurally slightly behind. Okay, there we go. And offwards and onwards. Nice idea with the lava wave, but it's not quite how it's going to work out. Morales about to die. Sanctification too early. Sanctification too early. That was not a good play. Here's the gust, and yeah, that was not well played. Now, they might still get it, but I doubt it. No interrupt. Morales was already dead. Way too many things that went wrong here. Now, they're still trying to burn this down a little bit, but they will have to go for it again. Now, even if they have to move in, again, it's not the end of the world, but you can now see how they just lost a little bit too much. So 2 mistakes right from the go. Morales, super low, had to retreat, died too early, didn't have the grenade therefore anymore to interrupt Ragnaros. So the Molten Core went through and protected it. Second mistake, the second they saw Falstad, they instantly went for the Sanctification. They should have waited a little bit while he was going up for the animation. He just waited it out, gusted, and then the whole endeavor failed. You have to remember they are attacking with only 4 heroes. They don't have the Vikings with them. So that's the big problem there. And now they're losing ground. Because first of all, they're losing experience. They're also giving more doubloons to the opponent. The map belongs to them. If anything, yeah, the Vikings, they've still controlled this as best as they can. But now the fort at the bottom of the map is, of course, lost. So we'll see if they go for play number 2 with this. And again, Vikings could try and get some extra doubloons here and maybe play around the objective too. But they keep being forced in these ults that they don't want to use here. That's a sanctification that they don't necessarily want to drop. It might work out for them. If they can win the team fight, that would be fantastic. But now it turns against them. And it's not looking too great. If they can at least get a counter kill, and it seems no, they're not able to do it. Morales dies as well. They're taking team fights at this point that they shouldn't take, especially since they don't have the Vikings with them. So these are 5 versus 4 setups, and now they're losing too much. The thought process behind them, you can always argue if this is the best map to try and pull it off, but the thought process behind some of the decisions during the draft is not too bad. But now the blue team is obviously suffering significantly. They have taken a huge loss in experience, and they're starting to lose the keep at the bottom of the map. So the backdoor strategy that they're trying to execute here has backfired a bit. If the keep would have fallen on the other side, things would look a bit different, but that hasn't happened. Now they themselves lost their first keep. And, well, let's see how this is going to work out for the Vikings at least. Maybe they can make a bit of a difference here. Yeah, and again, Falstad, the Sanctification was dropped too early. It was definitely dropped too early. And after the Sanctification disappeared here, the rest of the heroes should have just moved to the side a little bit so that not everybody gets affected by the gust. Now, the Vikings using their ult to save the doubloons here on Eric. In regards to damage, you see Greymane on the 40,000. These turn-ins are, of course, starting to become extremely expensive for the red team. Another set of shots is fired, but, well, they don't need a whole lot. They're getting another keep destroyed, and even the one at the top is going to get hit. Morales using her ult here. I don't like this. To join the team, she should have walked, and then they should have backdoored. The thing is, I don't even know if they can backdoor any longer, because the problem with the backdoor at this point is simply that if they lose the entire team, there's a chance that the red team just crosses the map and tries to go for the core. But if you don't backdoor now, when are you going to do it? And also, if you backdoor now and you lose the entire team, with the exception of the Vikings, at least the death timers are very low, so just crossing the map is not that easy for Heroes Lounge FC. Crossing the entire map and then taking the core down before the team respawns is not likely. But the more time is on the clock, the harder obviously it gets. So now that Morales has her ult back, they should really start and pull this off again, because a straight up game, they're not going to win this anymore. At this point, and I think even before that, they needed to go for a second backdoor, because, as I said, straight up game, how are you going to win this? Your opponent controls the map, they have 14 out of 18 doubloons turned in already, so the next one is going to destroy your final keep. They gotta do something. And I think this is the only thing that they could try and do. Artanis has to use his ult, is gonna die, and I think this is probably gonna be all she wrote here. So, yeah, this is very, very tricky now. Yeah, they were already far behind before this happened, but it's a bit of a reoccurring theme that they either lack an ult, they lack a hero, or they hold too many doubloons to try and go for it. So in this entire game, they only tried for the backdoor once, and because Morales couldn't interrupt Ragnaros, and Tyrael was a little bit too trigger happy on his Sanctification before Falstad used the Gust, the keep still stands, so they never really revisited that strategy, hoping that they can win a straight up game. But as you can tell, with level 20 still on the board for the FC, and now even chests up on the map, it seems like this is going to be lights out for the top keep, because this turn is going to happen. This turn in is first and foremost going to happen, and second of all, the next turn in is going to end the game. So, with that said, how are you going to do this now? Level 20 talents are ready, and, well, here they go again, I suppose. They're at least setting up in a bush, so makes it a little bit more likely. Are they going to try? Morales upgraded, reducing the cooldown over here. I mean, in an ideal world, that allows you to even fly back out with a few of the heroes, but what are they going to try and do here? I mean, they gotta go for it. I don't see another way. Red team is obviously not even showing on the map, so first of all, they're trying to take the keep down. Good on that. But at some point, they gotta make a move. Ragnaros is already heading back. Yeah, they're expecting it, of course. I mean, again, it's pretty signal at this point. So, yeah, you're very much signaling what you're trying to do. And, yeah. Morales is getting Greymane back to the fight. Cooldown is low, so she can afford to do that. But now they're getting interrupted over here. They have to win this fight. The core is already at 93% thanks to the earlier hit. So with a Sub-Zero and the Wind Tunnel, if they win this fight, they got a chance, but it's not looking good. Tyrael is the first one to fall. And boy, oh boy, this is dicey. Yeah, this is not looking good. So right now they're losing too much. I mean, Arthas alone is occupying 2 and the rest of the team is taking down Artanis. So yeah, very optimistic attempt to escape. That's not happening either. So now we already have the core down to 74%. I mean, it's pretty much was Winion time. With the shield removed, there's no doubt what's going to happen next. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. The red team takes it, and we still haven't seen a successful backdoor strategy. Scuff team brought in some interesting ideas, but the execution didn't work out for them. Game number 1, therefore, goes to the red team as they take the lead in the best of 5 series here at Meta Madness Group B. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Game number 2, Towers of Doom is the map. Meta Madness always makes me smile, especially this time around. As I explained, we opened the tournament up. Before that it was an invitational, so now you have a lot of amateur teams that are also playing. And a lot of these teams play the first time in a tournament on that level. Again, there's prize money on the line, obviously. I explained earlier how the Patreons are like absolutely crucial to make this happen, and in total we've put up 2,000 euros as prize money. So there's a lot of players that haven't really played in this environment just yet, and it's always funny in the lobbies because I have so many new people that are coming in that have never really played in one of the bigger tournaments. They're always asking, casters ready? And I'm always, guys, you don't have to ask caster if casters are ready, because we're not waiting for casters here. It's a caster's job to be ready, so once the players are ready, you start the game. And whichever caster isn't in the lobby, whichever caster isn't ready, that's their problem. If you're a caster, players don't wait for you. There are some exceptions when somebody just like needs a short break every now and then after like 5 hours of casting. We might do that, but rule of thumb, you don't ask, you just start. So there we go. So it's always a little bit amusing to me. That's, by the way, one thing that I want to point out real quickly to people that are catching this on YouTube right now. I already talked about this on Twitch, and I don't have anything to show you. But obviously, or very likely, you are aware that we introduced a merch shop a couple of months back. So a lot of Fruit Fly merch there, and people have been asking me to put some other things up there as well. And we actually did. So if you're interested in some HGC merch, you know, Heroes Gaming Community merch, that's now also in the shop with a pretty cool Phoenix motive. Simply, I mean, again, Blizzard is trying to burn the entire thing down, but like the Phoenix out of the ashes, the Heroes gaming community is reborn and resists. So for all the HGC fans, the true HGC fans out there, you should check out the link in the video description and have a look. Again, the shop delivers worldwide and has also production facilities pretty much all over the place, which means that the delivery costs are fairly low and they're also delivering very, very quickly. I'm super happy with the quality of all of that stuff, so if you haven't seen that yet and you want to see the new merch, then check it out. HGC is back. Towers of Doom, as I said, map number 2. We're still looking at a best of 5. This is Group B. In total, we have 16 teams, 4 groups with 4 teams. The top 2 out of each group after a round robin move on to the next round. Yeah, now with map number 2, it means that we have the 10 pre-banned heroes right there. In addition to that, the 10 heroes that were played on the last map cannot be played again. So it already limits the pool just a little bit. Sylvanas, you'll see, are banned a whole lot more. I mentioned it earlier, but I just want to throw it out there again. This is pretty much the warm-up for the main event, for the playoffs, since in the playoffs we're going to have a lot more heroes banned. So this down here is going to change a little bit. Leo Maiev locked in very early. Can I just say how much I like the name Bocken? It's probably the German heritage over there, Brocken. I would love him on a tank, honestly. If he played a tank and then you have a name like Brocken, that would be pretty cool. I mean, inspires respect, you know? Well, on the other side, we now got a Muradin and we got a Stukov. Ah, that is that shit. I mean, it makes sense, but yeah, they ban Gala out. They see Leoric and they're like, wait a second. They're getting rid of some of the percentage damage? Alright. Okay. In the meantime, I actually just realized that I have the wrong we had the wrong score over there. So obviously Scuff team didn't win this, but the fan club. My bad. I think I was so impressed with the idea that they had, you know, that I wanted to give them some brownie points, but I think I overdid a little bit. I like the Uther and Anna on the other hand. Uther main tank. Grain Bouret is really funny to me. I mean, it's a pretty interesting play on words over there. So yeah, Uther with a pretty fun one. Let's see what the last pick is going to be for them. They definitely needed some damage. They're now going up against Mind Talk on Li Ming. We got Sonya played by Master Chips. So 2 range damage dealers here in Towers of Doom for Scuffed team. And what is Gimli gonna play? I mean, Gimli should play Muradin, honestly. Muradin is budget Gimli. So there's so many missed opportunities here when we're looking at the names and what heroes they're playing. Now he's playing Lunara, and well, with that we're heading into the second game of the series. Towers of Doom, everybody. 1-0 for the red team. Let's see if the blue team can respond in kind. Game number 2, Towers of Doom, Scuff team against the Heroes Lounge FC. On the left side, J-Hart with Junkrat, Master Chips and Sonya. Mind Talk with Liming. We got Hanzuka on Stukov, and Mr. Taiko is playing Muradin. Towards the right side of the map, the team in the lead with Valla on Anna. We got Pajnox on Leoric, Bocken on Maiev. Grain Bouret on Uther, and Gimli is playing Lunara. Let's go. Alright, let's see who's gonna take it here. Also, are we gonna have another 3-mapper, or is this going to get extended a little bit? Now, obviously, this is the group stage, and in the group stage you're having all kinds of teams clash against each other right now. There's bound to be quite a few 3-0s. We already experienced this in Group A, as you might remember. It's just like so many different levels of play, and of course everybody was allowed to participate in the tournament, which is honestly one of the cooler things, that we have some of the amateur teams participating here. It's super, super fun to watch them and see what they can pull off here, so I'm actually pretty happy with that. But yeah, we're gonna see who's taking the lead now in game number 2, and if maybe the blue team can now bring this back here. But yep. Field the Under Death on level 1. Already up at the top. Sonya pushing this one out fairly easily. We still have the poor Wisp. Just get slapped. Oh, Stukov, yeah. No mercy. Slap the wisp, baby. But yeah, either way. So on level 1, we now get the Ether Walk. We also got the extra wound timer. We have also the third wind. Camps are taken just at the 1 minute mark. Nobody is really delaying this like too much. And already a bit of a fight in the first kill of the game. Uther going down as Muradin comes in and drops him. And Uther at this point just explodes. Yeah. Unfortunate. First blood. First blood for Scuff team. Let's see what they can pull off here. Anna gets bounced around a little bit. Whee! Yeah, just jumping out. And it seems like Bambi is not gonna make it either. Bambi is dead, and so is Anna. Woof! This is getting real spicy here. Li Ming is on fire, and so is Stukov. Bambi gone. Yep, J-Heart also, and careful. Alright. But yeah, off we go. We'll play all the way up at the top, and let's see what they can do down at the bottom of the map in the meantime. 4 kills to 0. That's actually a really nice start into the game. Now, that would mean something if this wasn't Towers of Doom, because after all, this is the comeback map. There was a period, I think like 2 or 3 months, where every single time that a team pulled initially ahead on Towers of Doom, they lost. Every single time. Now, obviously, the teams adjust in the sense that they are oftentimes going for compositions that scale very well into the late game, because they know that late game team fights are pretty much deciding the game. It's what matters the most here. If you dominate the late game, then you will heavily pull ahead here. But the kills keep coming. I mean, they're going for Uther now. There's no way he gets out of this one. So, yep, the grenade takes him down. Junkrat with another one. Maybe Stu... Yeah, mace to the face. Leon knocking that one out of the park. And now the blue team is getting punished heavily. They're losing Junkrat as well. Bit unfortunate. Whereas topside, Sonya is now starting to rotate back to the lane. Seems like they're going to give up the third altar down at the bot lane. There might be another interrupt from Muradin, but I doubt it. He would really have to commit to this one, and there's just no reason to come in here and risk being killed. So, off we go. 5 kills to 2. We are a bit of a leading experience for the blue team still, but obviously they've now fallen slightly behind in core points simply because Heroes Lounge FC got 2 out of the 3 altars here on the first rotation. We got Calamity ready for Li Ming, gives her a bit more reset potential. In addition, now the Skullcracker for the Wind Erupts. The Growing Infestation has been taken too, whereas Anna goes fully into a Sleep Dart build on her first 3 talents, and as is the norm these days, Choke and Pollen for Lunara. And talking about Lunara, she's dead already. So Bambi got eviscerated once more. Muradin is actually on a killing spree here. I mean, he is diving in deep and really putting them under pressure. Another nice Stormbolt locked in. And with the help of that, they were able to also push the pumpkins through, which now means that they have taken quite a few hit points off the bottom bell tower. So yeah, job well done. This is exact... Oh, Anna, careful. Yeah, more hits keep coming. Boss is now up on the map as well. Don't really think it's going to play a role anytime soon, but still noteworthy. We have nearly level 10. If Scuff Team is trying to coordinate this properly around their heroic abilities, they might just be able to take control over the bottom bell tower. But they have to make sure that everybody is still alive by the time they actually hit their level 10. The window is there. It's maybe not the biggest window, but it should be enough for them to do some damage. Maybe even get the altar. I would say it's a bit questionable. Good stun from Uther. That one was important. Nice sleep dart. And we still have Sonya dying at the top. And good jump also from IF here. Avoiding the damage from the Reptile. That was a very well done job by the Heroes Lounge FC. It's actually really well done. They dodged so many things there. And now, Divine Shield is out. Anna with the pew 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 as she goes full on sniper mode, and they're able to get the kill against the support. So now Stukov is dead. Li Ming is dead as well. Maiev has fallen. Tons of sustain, of course, with the 2 supports here for the red team. Obviously, Uther doubling as a tank in this case, but thanks to the Entomb that was dropped on Junkrat, they're even able to get a third kill. So, all of a sudden, experience is dead even. The red team is pulling even further ahead now with their hits. And this might become a bit difficult. Yeah, the initial advantage that the blue team had is now gone. They were ahead with 4 kills. So now they lost that. They are falling farther behind on core points. And they're also losing a fair amount of ground on the map itself. Sonya went leap, so they have a lot of engage potential here. And if Muradin keeps connecting these storm bolts, Sonya is teed up for a good ult. But she also might have to use it defensively. It's a cool thing, obviously, if you're going into leap, you can always jump out of a fight, but it's not really something you want to do too often. Sonya, in this case, doesn't even get the chance. She just gets stunned again and dropped right away. Good Storm Bolt. Mr. Taiko is super aggressive with Muradin. I mean, damn. This looked like it could have been a kill against the blue team, and then he jumps in and it turns the tide of the battle. Fights are not over yet, so this party is still going strong. Riptire again does not lead to a kill. He's getting insanely close every time, but at least they're able to drop my F, so that's 1 down. They go for Ana, and that should be the second that bites the dust here. Lunara gets out. Whoa, ho, ho, ho. Leo, not so much. And Li Ming with their resets. Here come the resets. All of them coming in. Bam, bam, bam. And Calamity is doing the rest. Yeah, that's the blue team pulling ahead again for the second time in this game now. We got 11 kills to 7. 18 kills at the 8-minute mark. Hallen advantage. Shots are fired. First 8 hitting, or first 4. Now the second volley is being sent in by Junkrat. And of course the goal would also be to take down the bottom bell tower if they get an opportunity. So that's what's happening here. With another 13 talents, we got the Cannoneer. And we got the Bronze Beard Rage. Which you probably already figured out after you saw the level 4 talent. Abolish Magic on level 13. And they still haven't figured this one out. I think Jay had actually cancelled because he was hoping that the team would take control over the bottom bell tower. But that now means that they might... Okay. I was about to say they might not get it at all. There's still interrupts coming in from Ana, but they go for the double channel now. So they are going to grab it. But this... They risked something here. Not a lot, but again, it's taking a risk. They were hoping to get 5 shots fired. They might still get this one, but they won't be able to get the 5 shots this early in the game. So now we have 28 points on each core. Looking at the damage, as you would have already expected, I guess, Li Ming is taking top numbers with all of the kills that she got in the resets in the last fight. Yeah, now they're going again for my F, and my F is dead. Mindtalk is putting on a clinic here. I mean, damn son. He is absolutely crushing it with Li Ming. Good damage. Leo might die, and they're going down here also for Uther. Another one about to fall. Leo has activated the trait. They killed Li Ming finally, but it came at a cost. Uther died too. So now it's level 16 and a 2-level lead. Alright. They're getting the bell tower. Sonya is still up at the top. Yeah. They're starting to take full control of this game. They definitely want to bring this one back, and I'm not too happy with the loss on Blackheart's Bay. We got 0 deaths on Muradin. Our boy hasn't died yet. Whereas at the same time, we now have still that talent advantage. I mean, that talent advantage is going to be there for a while. It's an entire level that you got to soak. So, easy defense on the bottom bell tower, I'd assume. And on top of that, we now have, as Junkrat takes another camp, also the altar spawning at the bot lane. So there is quite a bit that they can do with all of this. and Muradin is just going again full on solo YOLO. Our boy over here definitely wants to be aggressive, and so far it is working out for him. Hasn't died yet, had played a big role in a lot of these kills. 5 shots fired this time, dropping the core down to 23. Leo and Sonya are dancing their little dance in the middle and the top. And down here, it's all about defending the bell tower. And of course, hoping to get some of these pumpkins connected with the core. Get some more damage in. Yeah, my F goes back. They're trying to stop it here. And here comes the shove. And at least one shot makes it through. Not too bad. Oh, for a second I thought the second one would make it in as well. But no, not quite. Still, they dropped it down to... Actually, they got 2 connected. So yeah, 21 points now on the core against the 28. Level 16 talents are finally available for both teams. Fireflies on 16 for Li Ming. And, well, we got the Crushing Hope here for our boy Leoric. Active Reload, Smelling Salts for Anna. And Muradin sitting at the side hoping for his big moment where he can jump in and hit them again. Yeah, tunnels are open. So this is getting really dicey because the next problem that the red team is facing is that they're currently losing all of these bell towers. So the one in the middle has taken damage, the one at the top lane has taken damage. Leo is just really struggling to keep up with Sonya here, and this is a huge problem for them. Because they're not winning the fight at the bottom of the map, and at the same time it just seems like Master Chips is making it really difficult for Pajnox to hold the mid and the top lane. So there's a lot of ground lost for Heroes Lounge Fan Club. It's getting dicey. This is a triple altar phase now, and it's a 5 versus 3 bell tower situation. I mean, technically you could put them now into the single digits if you get all 3, which is doubtful, but even 2 would hurt a lot. Junkrat is already getting the one at the bottom of the map. Question is he now rotating in to help the team out, or is he going to simply take the pumpkin camp at the bottom? I think the pumpkin camp might be the smarter option, and that's exactly what he's doing. Top side! My F! No! That's not gonna work out for you, baby. My F is down, and they go for Anna. Muradin, I mean, he's beasting it. Yes, Sonya dies, but so does Leo, so does Lunara. And guys, this is a 5 versus 4. They had everybody there. They lose 3 heroes in a 5 versus 4. I mean, you can always say it was close to the fountains, but now disaster is striking. They're losing control over the bottom of the map. Uther has now died as well. Li Ming just showing no mercy whatsoever. There's 3 pumpkins that will get even more shots connected down at the bottom. Muradin restarts the channel so that they get in total 6 shots fired. Pumpkins made it through. We're talking single digits now. They're down to 7 points on the core. Bam! And of course the barrage could start. If they fully commit to the bell tower, the barrage could start, and this might actually be the beginning of the end. There's still some defenders here, so the red team is doing whatever they can to prevent this from happening. But there's the kill! Yeah, well, there's another Stormbolt too, and it seems that my F is dead again. Mr. Tycho is just crushing it. Like, ban Muradin against this guy. What the hell? Hasn't died yet. 22,000 damage. Muradin has nearly the same damage that Sonya has. That's where we're at right now. They're getting Anna, they're getting Leo. Mind Talk? What? Mind Talk is making it out of the fight. And he's still sticking around. He's like, yeah, boys, this is fine. I mean, this... Come on. Thank you. I mean, he was asking for it at this point. Lunara is trying to drop them like a hot potato over here. And she dies too. Everybody's dead. This is the end. This is game. The core is down to 4 points. Pumpkins making it work. And now the barrage is starting. Shots are being fired. The minions are not going to recover this in time. The level 20 talents that they got throughout the fight obviously help a ton here. So here come the shots. There's the altar. Junkrat is just committing Sudoku. It seems like Muradin is thinking about doing exactly the same. The core is down to a single point. Another quick action. But this is the tie in the series. Well done, Scuff team, putting a point on the board as we are heading towards game number 3. Game number 3. Here we are, everybody. 3rd game in the series. It's a tie that guarantees us at least 4 maps, and now that we're heading into Infernal Shrines. We have 30 heroes that are unavailable, the 10 heroes that are banned for the entire group stage, the 20 heroes that got played in on the last 2 maps. So it's getting interesting. Let's just put it like that. This is the beauty of Meta Madness. I mean, there are so many different things to talk about. I always like, the one thing that I always find amusing is how it always sparks discussions where people are then trying to, you know, talk a little bit about like, oh, this hero is really good, they just need to play him a little bit differently and stuff like that. That always happens. And it seems that people, when they are engaging in that kind of discussions, kind of forget that the only reason why these heroes are being played is because 30 heroes are not available. So it's kind of wild. But yeah, obviously now there's a lot of theory crafting going into the picks that are still available, into what you can do, what's left, is there a strategy, and you have to be really careful. There's a couple of heroes that simply don't get played because there are very good counters to those heroes. But once that those counters are removed, you might run into trouble. I mean, we saw a Cho'Gall ban earlier, and we might see another one. Cho'Gall becomes extremely powerful once that you remove a few of the options that get usually picked against him, or some of the heroes that just outpower him straight up. And the same is also true for a lot of other heroes. We've seen a Murky composition together with Phoenix. We've seen a quad support comp, just to name another. There's a couple of heroes that we haven't seen yet. So, Probius, for example, hasn't been played, but even the Butcher has seen some action. Now, this is obviously the group stage, and as I explained, there's a huge skill gap between some of the teams that are playing here. So, I think when it comes down to which heroes are going to be played or not, we have to look towards the playoffs. But for now, the group stage has already produced some very, very interesting games. And again, all of these games are getting uploaded to YouTube as well, so if you have missed some, you can find them there. And yeah, especially Group A. Group A had some crazy, crazy games. Meta Madness is always glorious because there's so much fun stuff happening, and I absolutely love it. The entire tournament concept is just like so awesome. But yeah, either way, we got Chromie as a first pick. Gimli on Chromie. Now, there's a fit. I was opting for Muradin earlier. I was saying like you should play Muradin, but I'll take Chromie. I mean, she's a dwarf as well. Yeah, I know some people are going to argue it's like a gnome or whatever. But then there's also people that pretend that she's a dragon, unironically, and that's obviously bullshit too. I mean, she's not a dragon. She might pretend that she's a dragon. It's not true. No real dragon would take that form. I keep saying it. And yeah, she can pretend all she wants. Lipstick on a pig. So we got Diva and we got Tychus on the other side. Leo has been played. Karazim is still up. Tychus has now picked. Keep Cho'Gall in mind. I'm just saying. Stitches, alright. With Malfurion. Are we getting a Medivh? Do we get a Kidnap combo here? Yeah, Kidnap combo would be kind of funny. Get that Gorge, get that Portal. Now, Karazim is up, as I said. Karazim is still up for percentage damage. I believe Malthael as well. So there's still a couple of options against Cho'Gall. It's just one of those heroes that always has to be in the back of your mind when you're thinking about these things. Thrall gets banned, alright. Let's see. They ban Garrosh, okay. I mean, I see that Diva, and there's immediately like alarm bells are ringing everywhere. It's a very early commitment to Diva. Much earlier than I personally expected it. It's not crazy to see a Diva in Meta Madness, but seeing her in game number 3 as the first pick, I'm like, eh. Now keep in mind, even in the HGC times, we actually had some of the Australian teams play her on Infernal Shrines to get the, for zone control more so than anything else. And we get May. And Rhaegar. Alright, so May is in the house. They got a bit of zone control here. We still need a little bit more damage, and we need a side lane also for the red team. They've done well on map number 1, but they definitely struggled on Towers of Doom. I mean, no denying that. They really struggled there. Probius! There we go! Probius and Rexa. I just talked about how he hasn't been picked yet. There it is. Probius is in. I mean, all we need now is an Asmodan, right? There's a couple of others that I definitely have forgotten and that we haven't seen yet. But Asmodan is amongst the few heroes that haven't been played in the group stage. And I honestly expect that at the end of the day, every single hero is going to see some play in the group stage. Playoffs, different story. But, well, here we are. So, it's Sophia. The schoolgirl is back. Infernal Shrines, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3 in the best of 5. Let's find out which team takes the lead. Scuff team on the left in blue with Mr. Taiko on Mei, Hanzuka on Rega. We got Master Chips on Diva, Mind Talk on Ophia, and J-Hard is playing Tychus. On the right side of the map, it's Valla on Malfurion for the Heroes Lounge FC. We got Grain Beret on Stitches, Gimli on Chromie, Paginox on Rexa, and Bokken is playing Probius. All right, let's go. Yep. As I said, the real name of the red team is this a Heroes Lounge team? Way too long for the overlay. Nobody can remember that shit, so a slight rename. Hook and immediately the root on the ground. So Stitches is trusting, or well, Malfurion is trusting in the hooks. In this case, they were not effective enough. On level 1, we got the full medal from our girl Diva, and off we go up at the top here with our 1v1. And the party apparently continues right from the beginning of the game at the bottom of the map. Probius is doing his thing. Pylons everywhere, and we got the flare. All right. By the way, I love very little more than shitting on Blizzard and all of the garbage decisions that they're making with Heroes of the Storm, just in general, which they've made in the past. And I have a real beef with how amateurish they are dealing and have dealt with the game. But I gotta give them some credit. The recent patch that, at least for the ARAMs, made it possible again that you can have all 10 heroes being the exact same hero is kind of fun. Adding that as a rare element again into the game is pretty interesting. So there have been a lot of screenshots that have been popped up where people have been playing with like 10 tracers or whatnot. So I like that they did that. So that's something that apparently didn't really take a whole lot of effort for them, and bringing this back, that was pretty cool. So for all the grief that I'm giving, that they justifiably get and that they fully deserve, that was one of the small moves that was at least nice. Fair enough? Nah. But should be mentioned. Master Assassin for the passive once again. So we're going to get the passive in here with the additional hits or with the attack speed. Again, it affects Odin, is the main reason why you take it, and obviously this being Infernal Shrines, you get mad value out of that. In this case, we got the Echo Pulse, we also got the Photon Barrier for Probius. And once that the Shrines are being fought for, this could be fairly interesting. We have a bit of a wild comp here. Shrine is about to be activated, and both of the teams are already working on the Shaman camp. So as you can tell, they're really trying to, as quickly as possible, set that top lane up, because the Shrine spawns at the bottom of the map, meaning you're getting a lot of value out of this. So let's see how the blue team handles the top side. Probius can push this out fairly easily, and yeah, going up against Tychus right now. 2 stacks for the level 4 on our boy Rexa up to now. Hunter-Gatherer. Shando's Clarity. Yeah. And off we go. Top lane is still being fought out by the 2, so they're trying to make sure that that Shaman camp doesn't get a whole lot of value. Misha, no! Oh, an unbearable situation is unfolding in the game as Misha dies. She was so young. Okay, I mean, bear with me here. Once she's back, which is the case now, they might actually be able to re-engage into this fight, but given that there's already 39 stacks, nah, it's not happening. So we got the level 7 kicking in, and that's the talent lead. But it probably won't hold for too long. But they're also breaking through this gate very quickly after the Punisher gets baited over. So they might be able to do a little bit more damage that you would normally expect. Mortar Punisher, of course. Let's see what we're getting here. Ooh, Aspect of the Beast on level 7. Now I'm a bit curious what's happened on level 10. I'm also fairly curious about what's going on here. Fort destroyed with Punisher number 1? Really? And damn, Ophia's trying to snack away against Chromie. Yep, that's a dead dwarf. Gnome. Whatever. Same shit, different day. So, yeah. Chromie is dead. Stitches is also down. That is definitely not the start they were hoping for. Keep in mind, they won the first map. They won map number 1, but now they are again behind by 3 kills by an entire level. They've lost the bottom fort, which is arguably worse this early in the game. And it seems that Rexa might also get destroyed. Yep, Rexa down. D.Va kind of committing to that. Yeah, and it gets immediately ulted by Chromie. And... that could have been a kill on Probius, but Probius was a little bit faster here, so D.Va dies. I'm still calling worth. It wasn't... I mean, at the end of the day, it was just simply a trade in kills, right? So, it's all that it got done here. 2 kills also towards the level 4 of Tychus. Not that we really expect him to complete this, but still noteworthy. We have the Ice Wall. And over here, the Ancestral Healing. Alright. Ancestral... no Bloodlust shenanigans. Also makes sense with the lineup. And D.Va not going for the ult yet. Bunny hop, baby. Hop it up. Top side. There we go. Yep. Bunny hop is in the house. They're not really doing a whole lot with the level 10 though. I mean, there's not really that much to do. I guess they could have pushed the middle a little bit and damaged it. But there were still a few camps on their side that they prioritized over that. So here comes Odin. Now they're starting to commit to it. I would have liked them to do that a little bit earlier. Oh, yes. That could have been pretty sexy. But nope, not quite. Level 4 gives... level 10 gives us Unleash the Boars. We got the Pylon overcharge here. No Gorge, but instead the Bile. And they've done some damage, but I would have loved... If they really commit ults to this, I would have loved for them to go in as they had level 10 and there was no way for the red team to get their own heroic abilities in time. I would have liked that. That camp over here, you can still pick it up on the way back, I think. Prioritizing it and losing some time, giving Heroes Lounge FC time to get to their own heroics was probably a bit of a mistake. I think with the commitment on Odin and some of the other ults, they could have done more damage in the middle if they just did it a bit earlier. But they are, of course, still ahead. Taking that fort down at the bot lane was big. And the longer this game lasts and the more these catapults are scaling, the better it's going to be for them. But it's also about what's happening now with the second objective. Because Tychus is still down on 30 seconds on his ult. Another reason why committing to it a bit earlier in the game would have probably benefited them here. He's likely going to be able to get at least one out. Well, and they're already killing Malfurion. Didn't even get a chance to get his own ult set up. So yeah, Chromie with the Temporal Loop again. Hits still coming, but they're getting slowed at the top. I mean, so much control now from Mei. Ice Wall comes out, blocks Rexa. They're taking Gimli down on the other hand, so that's 2 down for the red team. And of course, it's likely resulting in another Punisher for Scuffed team. As they also have still a fort in the middle of the map. Well, they started to take it down already. That means very likely this is going to be the end of another major structure on the outside here. So yeah, here we go. They're coming in. There's no way to hold this. Entire wall is gone. They are barely getting Chromie now in. Tychus is still at the bottom of the map, but just look at Stitches. All he wanted was some playtime, and now he's getting way more than he asked for, I think. This one should be destroyed. Yeah, and it's also an Arcane Punisher. Yeah, that's gonna be rough. Malfurion finds himself on the wrong side of the battle. I haven't seen an ult yet from him. Bit too late to use it there too. He's just completely in the wrong spot to survive this. I mean, he's always been a little bit squishy, but if then you also are in the middle of the opponent's team, you have absolutely no chance. Beautiful wall over here. Everybody says so. It's a beautiful wall. It's great. 9 kills to 1. The walls are fantastic. Probius, on the other hand, is now also down. So, yeah, a lot of scrap metal on the ground. Whereas D.Va has moved towards the top. And I gotta give it to Scuff Team. They woke up after game number 1. They did. Game number 1 was rough. The entire composition and the idea that they had behind it didn't work for them. But now they are doing their job. They are taking, from the beginning, control of the game. Maybe it's struggling in the mid-game on Towers of Doom. But they are definitely on track here to win the third one. Now, does it come to that? We'll find out. But they definitely have a very, very good shot at it. They destroyed 2 of the forts. They're pressuring at the top. They have nearly a 3-level lead at this point in time, which will result in level 16 talent. So yeah, they are looking Gucci. Now, we already got the Wildfire Bear. I like it. The Wildfire Bear. Another wall. And, well, there's the Bunny Hop. Hoppy, hoppy, hoppy. Okay, 1 down, 2 down. They are crushing them. Currently, this is dicey. The level 16 talent advantage in and of itself is, of course, such a big lead already. But then you also look at a 3-level lead, which gives them a stats advantage that is nothing to sneeze on. So they can easily push this through the middle. Keep in mind, D.Va isn't even here. She's up at the top. So, yep. That is tough times. Now, D.Va being at the top side might mean they take the fort down, but at the same time there's an opportunity to save that keep, maybe? I mean, they should really commit to it, if you ask me. But instead they're looking for additional kills. Yeah, the Ancestral is through. Temporal Loop has hit! Oh, that's the end of me. She would have died one way or another. It was a bit of a checkmate position the second that the hook came out. Either you died to Chromie or you died to the rest of the team. That's pretty much all you got there. The keep is still in play, though. The keep was not taken down yet, and the fight continues. Seems like they're going to lose more than that, especially Tychus is in trouble, but he is able to get out. Rhaegar is also doing his best to still keep them alive, and all of a sudden it might turn again. Nicely done! Bunny Hop, look at Ophia! Damn, the schoolgirl is crushing them. Ophia is getting one hit in after another. And now we have Odin again activated. They're just relentless. Absolutely relentless. Crushing one hero after another. Master Chips is pretty much just playing the side lane. 100,000 siege damage. Nearly. Not quite. But there's also another objective up. I mean, the hits just keep coming. Heroes Lounge FC, they're just taking it. Hit after hit after hit, trying to somehow survive through this. Get to level 16 so that they have a fighting chance in these battles. But it's just so tricky. And Gimli is pausing the game. Yeah, a little bit of a strategy talk over here. It's a bit of a 3-2-3 moment if you ask me. I mean, right now, it's probably just to get some water and put some of these fires out that are burning on the map. Because after they've lost the keep, they've also started to lose hope to save the one at the bot lane. Again, this entire wall has been opened up. And as I said, the next objective is going to be taken down here as well. So now there's a chance to push through the bottom of the map and then get keep number 2. And of course, they are getting closer and closer to level 20 over here as well. Granted, it's still 1.5 levels, but if you now get the objective, you push through the bottom, you take another keep down while you're still ahead in experience, then you should get very, very close to the Storm Talons. What the red team has to do is they need level 16. So they already decided, as you can see, that they're not going to fight for the Punisher, which is a smart decision, to be honest. They're not going to win this battle. They tried a few times, but after level 16 hit for Scuff team, there was just nothing that they could realistically do. So now Rexa is moving towards the top. He's going to make sure to take the minion waves out. We have Probius in the middle, going to do the exact same, which then is going to give them the level 16 talent. Yeah, and then it's a question of whether or not they can win the fight down at the bottom of the map. Now, I gotta admit that outside of a glorious hook by Stitches, keep in mind he doesn't have Gorge, so he can't kidnap anybody, we are likely gonna see the keep fall. But if you still win the team fight itself, then, you know, they might just be able to turn it a little bit. The problem is, of course, that if you look over to the blue team, they still hold on to every single fort. I mean, on most of these lanes, the walls are still in play, so that makes it worse. There's by now also a realistic chance that Tychus is going to complete his quest. I mean, he's at 13 out of 15. As I mentioned, this talent is taken mainly because you're looking at the passive attack speed increase that affects Odin as well. But, hey, if you complete this bad boy, even better. 39,000 damage for Fia. Ah, the hooks, they keep missing. Level 16 is in. So as I said, now it's an even fight, at least in regards to talents. Gives us the Pulverized. That's oftentimes a game changer. We got the Primal Intimidation. So far, he wasn't really intimidating. At least we don't get Feign Death. Nobody's fooled by that shit. Rexa is the worst actor in the universe. I mean, the guy is worse than Ezra Miller. And that says a lot. What a shitty Flash he is. I mean, Jesus Christ. All the controversies around him and him being a lunatic, like, all aside, but he is atrocious. So, yeah, either way. They wish that they had a little bit of the Flash right now, because that would help them to run away faster, but Stitches is not able to escape quickly enough, so he dies. Front line gone, the wall is up, the shots keep coming, the keep is gone, 15 kills to 2, the Punisher with a triple stun, and that baby is gonna be it for game number 3. Infernal Shrine, Scuff team, waking up after the initial loss on the first map and really putting on a clinic here. They take the 2-1 lead in this series. Tomb of the Spider Queen! Let's go! Heroes Lounge Fan Club against Scuff Team. Now this is map number 4. 40 heroes banned at this point. Also, again, I have to make this very, very clear over and over again because people are heavily confused by it. These heroes are banned for the group stage. Playoffs are going to be different. So for all the matches in the group stage, no matter what group you're looking at, the same heroes are pre-banned. Once that we're heading into the playoffs, it's going to be different. The amount of heroes that we're banning is tied to sub-goals on the Twitch channel, and the votes can obviously still change a little bit. But there's always a little bit confusion once that we're going from the group stage into the playoffs, even though it's kind of simple. So a lot of people are apparently missing these little announcements, so I want to just throw it out there again. Surgeon gets banned. There's a couple of heroes that are still fairly normal and very meta, as for example Nubarak, and he's been continuously banned here. This is really the moment where you really start to think, okay, what's still there? We didn't see this double, triple... Well, actually, we had a double support, but we didn't have any triple or quad support games that would then result in whittling down the support pool, for example, heavily. But right now, we got Jaina banned. I mean, if you have Probius, yeah, Sylvanas obviously gets the boot too. She's just too strong. We're on 2 with Spider Queen right now, so she excels here even more. We have Zagara. Haven't seen an Asmodan yet. This is a good Asmodan map. If you want to play Asmodan, this might just be it. Cho'Gall is also still up. So there's some heavy hitters that could still be played. 100%. Support side, of course, too. But back in the day, you might still remember plays around Asmodan and Tomb of the Spider Queen. Some push strategies with the Zagara that you could go for. Their commitment!
Hail to the king, baby.
Game number 4 and the insta double pick into Cho'Gall. Now that has to be a Mephisto pick. Sorry, Malthael pick now, right? Malthael is still up. Malthael, Kharazim. Those are your 2 heroes that can do really solid damage to Cho'Gall. They go for Varian and Kharazim. Alright, so they go the Taunt and then the 7-sided strike. They're not committing to Malthael right away. And, well, maybe they should ban him. What else are you gonna ban? I mean, right now, you have Cho'Gall already. Malthael could be banned. Should be banned. Might be banned. What does the red team ban? Alexstrasza? What else do we have? Really? Alright, Zagara. Bit more worried about Zagara here. I mean, she's on the squishy side. You can put her easily under pressure. Malthael, a little bit of a different story. Is there a chance that Scuff Team picks him for themselves? That last Rights would worry me a little bit. Unless, of course, you're also committing a Medivh to the lineup here. Then you can play around the shield quite a bit. And Medivh is still up, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Oriel gets banned, so no Re-Rive. No Aegis shenanigans. That would have been very good against last Rights as well. The mind games. Mind games are strong here. I mean, Mephisto's obviously also a very good opener. He's an insanely strong hero. Especially when it comes to just like sheer damage numbers. Yrel? So they're actually leaving it open. And Deckard Cain. Okay, I thought there were a few more options here to play with Cho'Gall. But this has to be a Mephisto on the side. No, they go Zul. They go for triple front line. They could if they wanted to. Zul for the side clear. So they're going for all AoE at this point. What's the last pick? Range damage? A little bit more on that? No, they go Malthael. Malthael was the obvious choice. I honestly don't understand why Malthael wasn't banned by Scuff Team. That would have been my first ban if he's not addressed. And again, I thought it would be a Kharazim and a Malthael double pick, and instead they chose Varian early. So now we have Mr. Tycho, last but not least. Come on, surprise me. We need range damage. ETC! Well, they're relying on Gal alone. Gal for the only range damage, and we're getting an ETC now. Interesting. That is not a hero that I had on my card of possible picks for this composition. But alright, here we are. So, very melee heavy. Still got Gal, but this is 2 more Spider Queen. Let's go, everybody. Let's see what they can pull off here. Scuff Team against Heroes Lounge FC. Scuff Team has momentum. They won 2 games in a row, pretty dominant ones too. Now we're heading into game number 4 in this best of 5 in Group B of Meta Madness. And over on the left side, we got Mr. Tycho on ETC. Mindhawk is playing Cho. J Hard on Gal, Master Chips on Yrel, and Hanzuka on Deckard Cain. Over on the right side of the map, it's Valla on Kharazim, Pajanox on Varian, Bokken on Mephisto, Gimli is playing Malthael, and Grain Bure is playing Zul. It's actually pretty interesting, honestly, because the Zagara ban, I mean, people will argue that the percentage damage that she brings in is something that threatens Cho'Gall here too, but I honestly would rank her way below Malthael when it comes to threat assessment if you're playing Cho'Gall. First of all, you have the last rights, and there's very little that Shoutout can do about it with this comp until he reaches the Molten Block, and even then you can play around it. But we already had Shoutout games where it was very obvious that if played correctly, Malthael can absolutely destroy in that window Shoutout multiple times, and that gets you ahead. You're dealing with a 7-sided strike, you're dealing with the last rights, you have some percentage damage as well. So that honestly surprises me a little bit. The argument in favor of the Zagara ban, on the other hand, is that you're maybe worried about her additional wave clear. Now that's where Zul comes in, and they're of course starting here with an instant kill. Now they have a lot of control if they gain the momentum. It's a very melee heavy composition, which means that once you're committed to a fight, you are committed. So you can of course interrupt a lot of the things that are very likely going to happen here. But it will be an interesting game, to say the least. Minhart is... I mean, first and foremost, that we have a skin here is already worrisome. Every single time that you have a player that plays like a Butcher, Cho'Gall or whatever, and they are rocking the skins and present them proudly, you should be worried. You should be very, very worried. So that's exactly what we're seeing here now. It can definitely be a game where the blue team dominates again. Now, it's a little bit out of the box, but that's what Meta Madness is all about. And let's not forget, we also got a Yrel in the mix. It's actually mind-blowing that she made it this far into this series without being picked at all. So, yeah, the pressure is on. Level 4 is going to give us the taunt, but it's going to take a bit longer until we have the proper percentage damage talents for the Heroes Lounge FC, especially the ults. Those are, of course, crucial here if you're relying on a 7-sided and also on last rights. But yeah, let's see what they can do with Malthael here. It's especially just after 10. Oh, ho, ho. Smashy smash, baby! Okay! Who needs taunt? Yeah, nobody apparently. They're going full smash on this one. We'll see. Single target damage in the house. Varian is going to yell a little bit. But with Mephisto dying, it's already kill number 2 that gets accomplished here by a Scuff team. So, nicely done. Not really too good for the red team. Yeah, they're having some real trouble here. I am not so sure if I like that variant pick. That's gonna make it a little bit more tricky for at least Karazim to combo off properly. Might work out for them, but he has a pocket healer at this point in time. So, let's see. It's gonna be a tricky one for the red team. Blue team has a lot of momentum. They were definitely playing better in game number 2 and game number 3. It feels a little bit like the first game was a bit of a fluke. It was more of a warm-up game for them. Now, he's overdoing it a bit with Cho'Gall now, but so far they're doing a fantastic job here, as you can see. They just need to be careful. At this point in time, it's fine if he's very aggressive, and of course it's yielding dividends, as you can tell. But if he does that later again, he's going to get punished heavily for it. So I assume that they're going to adjust after level 10, at least to the point where he has his Molten Block. With a kill on Malthael, they're doing well. They're trying for Mephisto again, and he dies. So that's 4 kills to 0 now. I mean, they are racking them. Mid lane is open. Fort has taken damage. This is looking great for a Scuff team. This early game, it doesn't get much better than that. And of course, while all of this happens, they're also accumulating more and more gems that they can now use to turn in. And that is Web Weaver wave number 1. Okay, so good stuff. With level 7, having first of all the trickery over here. Yeah, also the second wind. But they gotta deal with these Web Weavers first. I mean, they got Mephisto, so he can try and burn that down. But Cho'Gall is all over the place. So once again, they're using, in this case, Zul to lock down the target instead of Varian and the taunt. So they have him. That can help out a lot to try and set up Karazim later. Yeah, but the action is still focusing here on the middle. Top Fort might be in danger too. They haven't picked yet on level 7, by the way. So actually picking quite late here on the level 7 talents. Yep, in this case we now get the Tragul's Essence, and we've actually seen Karazim drop a little bit low. He needs to be super careful. ETC is also sliding around. I mean, ETC is in a position where he can always try and interrupt again with another power slide. Use for the face melt here. And see how much damage they've already done with the first objective. They're working on that mid fort, and at the top, even this one. The wall has been lost, and 50% of the HP are gone. Varian is yelling and shouting and screaming again, throwing a tantrum as usual, but it's just not doing anything for them. This might be interesting here. No. Not able to put enough pressure on Cho'Gall. They're trying, though. I mean, they're really eager. Once level 10 hits, Cho'Gall needs to be a lot more careful. But at the same time, the red team also has to get the early combos correct. If they're not able to get Malthael into a position where he gets multiple kills with his level 10 and gets the cooldown reduction, then the late game is going to be more difficult for them. They really need to try and get out that ult as often as possible. So relying on Malthael there is going to be important. It's an entire level lead at this point for Scuff team on the other hand. So now we have Cho'Gall with the hammer and, well, ETC with the mosh pit. Nice dodge. Yeah, that one was kind of important. That was a good dodge there. They're getting closer and closer to the second turn in too. So Scuff team is getting extremely close. A couple more gems, turn all of them in. Red team, then again, has enough gems for a turn in themselves, but they have to make it work. And I don't know if they're gonna have enough time for this one. Yeah, so let's see. 24 gems have been delivered by the blue team. And they don't quite have enough yet, but they will in a second, and there it is. So yeah, now they can turn into... Okay, level 10 abilities are ready. This is really where we're going to see if they can take Cho'Gall down, yes or no. They gotta be aggressive around this right now. But, oh, good dodge. Yeah, Endurance of Hate! This should at least be 1 kill! Drop him! Drop someone! Where's Mephisto? Where's Malthael? They need to get the damage. Mephisto is dead already, but they should be able to get Joel down, and they're just not. They're holding on to the last rights. I mean, again, they should. They were maybe thinking of dropping it on Urel, but before she used the ult, that was also something that they couldn't really do here. It's a small gap that they have. I like that the playstyle at least got adjusted by the blue team, so they're not being as aggressive as they previously were with Cho'Gall. They know that they can't just YOLO into this. But, of course, there is a turn that has to happen now for the red team, or they're going to lose even more momentum. Now, there's an opportunity to maybe even drop last rights onto Urel if they get another chance like this. Cho'Gall still a bit low. Seven-sided is back up. Here's an opportunity to go for Cho'Gall himself. Yeah, what about Karazim? Is he going to drop his ult? Not just yet. Mephisto being a bit in trouble here. Ooh, he's low. Yeah, and they're not going for the ult. He could drop it, and he did, and that's a kill. Okay, so Malthael died, but at least they got a kill, and... losing Karazim too, that's a lot of gems down the drain. I was just about to say, at least they got a kill and they get some cooler reduction for him, but just see how, look how many oh my god, no. No! 68! That's nearly as bad as losing 69. Oh, they just lost 68 gems on one hero. Oh boy, that is the beginning of the end, or at least it should be. Look at this. The poor guy gets completely surrounded. That was a Warcraft 3 surround right there. And they lost everything. They went for the fight. They did the best they could, and it just wasn't enough. So, Web Beavers are touching ground again. Top fort will fall. They're working on the middle. They have level 13. And in this case, we're getting the Twilight Nova and the Twilight Veil. Alright. So... there's a seven-sided Malthael! Where is he? He's at the bottom! No, he's not here! Malthael is at the bottom of the map. He can't drop his ult, but they're getting... no, they're not getting him. Are you serious? Cho'Gall is still alive, can't kill him. Malthael has his ult ready, but he had to deal with Urel. He's not in the fight. Can't make the play. Would be so easy for him. He's now slowly rotating over. Double kill. Cho'Gall and Urel are taking them out. Honestly, he should just come in and drop him. Yeah. No, baby. Okay, Cho'Gall is down. Okay, they can get another kill. Second stack for Malthael. Yeah, a little bit of cooldown reduction. As I said before, it's super important that they're getting that cooldown as low as possible for the late game. 2 are not going to be enough, but at least they took Cho'Gall down, and they also got ETC. It's a bit of a wild game. 38,000 damage by Gall, top damage at this point in time. 29,000 for Malthael. Yeah, they really missed him in that fight. It's a problem if they don't have if they don't have Malthael in these big battles against Cho'Gall, then the last right just isn't a threat, and it oftentimes deters aggressive play by Scuff team. So they're not quite out of this yet, but of course losing this many gems earlier is such a massive setback. Recovering from this is going to hurt a lot. Now they didn't lose a keep, that's the good news. Only 2 forts have fallen. I say only, but yeah, still. So let's see what they can accomplish here. Inevitable End is in. They're still trying. Ult is hitting Deckard Cain. That's not what it was meant for. Yeah, ETC, he's dead. ETC is dead. Malthael is griefing over here. We need Gimli in the fight. I know his legs are short, but he needs to hurry it up a little bit more. There's the ult. Yes! Boom! Get wrecked, bitch. Down he goes. Cho'Gall is dead. Another stack for Malthael. Cooldown reduction is slowly but steadily kicking in. This is exactly what they need. They need these Cho'Gall kills. They need to take him down. I personally expected Scarf team to go for Medivh. I really thought they would drop a Medivh on us. They didn't. They went for ETC instead. He obviously also has a role to fill here, but those shields would have been pretty sexy, and they just don't come in yet. Now we got the Leaden Orb over here, and they go boss. Heroes Lounge FC, guys, they want to bring this towards game number 5. They're trying. They're trying to bring it to the final game of this series, if they can. So they're doing their best here. But the comeback is going to be difficult. At least in experience, they're back. That's good. They got the same talents as their opponent. You have at the bottom of the map the fort getting attacked. Now they're moving into the middle as the red team, sorry, the blue team defends topside's boss. And, well, here we are. So, with that, we now have one fort eliminated on the blue team side. They're getting some momentum down here at the bottom of the map. And we got the runic feedback. Now, I was talking a lot in the draft and also at the beginning of the game about Molten Block. And they didn't pick it. So, Molten Block hasn't been picked. Against Malthael? Yeah. That's a choice. So, let's see if it works for them. The last two fights, it definitely didn't. Talking about fights, it seems like we're in for another one. 17 versus 17. Okay. Trying to come in with a quick hit and also the Ruins of Hate. Shogal try to play this out again. Dives in, gets damage. Malthael a little bit too low, but he's able to make it out and the fountain of the bot lane still stands. The red team has also successfully turned in, so they're getting some additional pressure. They're going for Shogal again. Yrel trying to zone them out a little bit. Deckard Kane. Stay a while and get wrecked. Down he goes. They make him dance. ETC with the ult. Oh, Deckard Kane gets away. The last right's not able to take him down. They miss out on the cooldown reduction, but they get the kill on at least ETC. And the web weavers are still coming down here. So it's at least a 4 versus 4. That's the good news. It would have been a disaster for them if they lost 2-3 heroes here, just as their web weavers for the first time in this game are coming into play. So, once again, they're trying down here at the bottom of the map to go for Shogal. He's low. Durance of Hate connects. And keep in mind, the cooldown reduction is helping. Soon Malthael is going to have another hit here. Might even not need it. They're coming in. 10 seconds! 10 seconds for the last rights! They just need it. They don't need it. They got the 7-sided. And they have another kill. Blue team is falling apart a little bit. 13 to 10 kills. Bot lane fort has been destroyed. Top lane fort has gone down to... And now they're ahead in structures. Ahead in structures, ahead in experience. They are taking control. We might go the distance here. We might go the distance in this first series in Group B. Scuffed team against Heroes Lounge FC, everybody. The party continues as the push for the bot lane is starting to take hit points off the keep itself. Alright, not bad. Camp is getting destroyed. The turn in, yep, that's gonna happen. Nobody interrupting. Master Chips delivers. That buys them a bit of space and time. Get closer to level 20. But of course they're in dire straits here. Now Yrel should get out. Yeah, gets her ult. Had to sacrifice the ult. That in and of itself sucks. But it is what it is. Mid lane obviously has to be defended because there's two camps pretty much still pushing. Can't let that run here. Damage output, 61,000 by Gal. Easy top damage for him. Cho is at 55. We got 45,000 by Malthael. And he has obviously his last rights back up. But yep. Here we go. Heroes Lounge FC. Yeah, they finally at a point where they can drop all of this. So the transgression is going to make it much, much harder now. Keep Shogal alive. We also got the Mimic in here. Kalan's Edict is in too. And the level 20 talents are hitting for the rest of the team as well. Well, for the blue team. So off we go. Twilight Frenzy is in. Respect the elderly. Shogal comes in with a cartoon's gift. And Malthael with the no one can stop the death. Here comes the fight. Yrel, they're flanking in. But they're looking to at least. Try to drive a bit of a wedge between the players of the red team. Hasn't worked out so far. Blue team is not really... Well, they're getting a little bit closer to a turn-in, but it's the red team that is the real threat here, since they have enough gems to get the next turn-in. So, yeah. That could definitely happen now. Either way, there's the hit. Shogal all the way up at the front. Gets focused right away. 7-sided strike. ETC with a big one. Big hit by him. Can they go for the ult on Shogal? Where's the last rights? There it is! And that's a kill. No, it's not! It's not! It's not a kill! Double kill against the blue team though. They lost Urel, they lost ETC. Shogal was pushed back, but he didn't die. He survived through the last rights. 20 versus 20 talents. Boss is back up on the map and they are apparently trying to go for it. They go for half a turn in. They're looking for the boss. They're looking to end the game here. They're looking to end this game. And obviously Scuff team knows what's going on. They're trying to prevent it from happening. They're fighting with Shogal and with Deca. They're doing their best, but this is not happening. This is just not happening. Seven-sided strike, the transgression didn't do jack shit. Was out of the circle, but now here comes the kill on Shogal. That's all she wrote. This is game. This has to be. They're going to set up a monster push right now. And this push should end this one and bring us to map number 5. I would be shocked if that wasn't the case. And map number 5 is going to be special. I mean, 5th map, this is going to be... We are going to look at, in total, 50 heroes that are unavailable. So yeah, this is going to get pretty nasty. Damage output, just to give you a bit of an idea again, 57,000 here. Marthel obviously heavily capitalizing on the fact that he has his ult. That's enormous damage he drops with every single one of them. Even outpaces Mephisto. Still trying to make a play over here, huh? Yeah, where people at the bottom of the map are going to nibble at that keep in no time. At the top, it's already losing hit points as the boss is coming in. Absolutely no way. There we go. Keep is gone. There is no chance they're saving this. There's absolutely no chance. They would have to get like multiple kills. So right here, right now, last rights is in, doesn't get the kill. That on the other hand, don't tell me they saved this. 1 down, 2 down, keeps are all falling. Every single keep is gone. Every single keep is gone. Well, this one's gone now. But can they save the core? I don't think so. Nah. No. Can they? 60%? 40? Nah, not happening. They gave it a shot. They are ahead in kills, but it doesn't mean anything. We go to game number 5. Party time. Let's go. Game number 5, we're going the distance, everybody. Meta Madness Group B, and in the first series of the group, we're already going for a 5-mapper. So 50 heroes banned, 10 heroes down here, 40 heroes that have been played and cannot be played again, which leaves us with only 3 real tanks that are still available. Anubarak, Garrosh, and Mal'Ganis. Those are the only real tanks that you can still get. Now, there's a couple of alternatives, of course, when you're looking at the bruisers. We still have Imperius, for example. We also have Chen, who you could play in that role. So, going to be interesting to see what's going to happen around that. But, should be an interesting game. There's still plenty around, by the way. So, yeah, there's still plenty of heroes that could be chosen now. We haven't seen Murky yet. Yeah, Murky hasn't been picked yet. But okay, so for now we got the Samuro ban again. That's obviously a bit of a target ban. We've seen that already a couple of times now. Tracer gets banned out as well. Now that I think of it, we haven't really seen a whole lot of Tracers. So not a lot has happened with that. Okay. For the teams, it's obviously getting a little bit dicey now too, because you have to remember which heroes were played, which heroes were initially banned. So most of the time, everybody just like keeps some Excel sheets together so they can see, okay, what's still available, what can we play, what are still options, is there anything, any kind of combo that we're, for example, missing out on. Highlighting one that is still here is the Phoenix and Murky comp. So you're going into Octograb and then you just go full laser. Brrr. Could do the same thing with Nova. That was actually done back in the days when Heroes of the Storm got released, that you went into Octograb and then you used an orbital strike, just like burn the targets down super quickly. So yeah, there's a couple of interesting combos that you could still go for. Anubarak doesn't get banned out, so each team should now in the early pick stage take a main tank. I would be surprised if that doesn't happen, and yes, here's Anubarak. If you don't pick Anubarak now as the blue team, you are left with the scraps. And obviously the same is also true now for the red team. They have to... They're likely going to pick Garrosh, I assume. If they don't take either Garrosh or Mal'Ganis, that means that they have to later on resort to playing a Bruiser in their main tank role. Again, there are choices out there that would still work with that. Imperious being just one of them. We go for Tyrande. And Cassia, okay, so they're not really interested in the front line, which means that Scuffed team could ban some of that out. So they could come in now after they pick and simply drop a Garrosh ban. And that would make it a little bit more uncomfortable for the red team, but as I said, there are options that they could use. And for example, if they're going into an Imperious, they can still play Imperious stun with Tyrande stuns. There's a few options for them. And we get a Kerrigan. Yeah, for Mind Talk, that's actually not really a bad pick for him. It's a really good pick for him. That's something that we've seen banned against him multiple times in the past in normal games without Meta Madness rules. So, yeah. There we go. Cassia herself could be pretty strong here too. It's Dragonshire as well, so you have to keep that in mind. And guys, again, since we are in game 5, big shout out to the Patreons again. They make this possible, so if you want to support more tournaments like this in the future, keep all of this alive, check out patreon.com/Khaldor. Big shout out to everybody that already supports the stream and the channel over there. Without you guys, the last few tournaments would have been possible. Simple as that. They would not have happened. But on the bans, what's not happening here is also Jaina picked. Second time in a row now that she's being banned. Final ban. Garrosh or no Garrosh? Are you removing him? Forcing them into a Bruiser? Yes, they are. Mal'Ganis is open. Imperious is open. Those are the two most likely picks now. They could let it slide until like the last pick, honestly. Now with Tyrande taken, there's obviously also the question of whether or not they're now picking somebody else as well. Meaning, are they going maybe even for double support? If you're a little bit weaker on the front line, you can oftentimes make up on that to an extent at least, with having a lot more sustain. Deathwing and Zeratul. The quick match combos are getting busted out now. Final two picks. I mean, Scuff team is still pretty alright. Kerrigan and Anubarak. Okay, White Maid doesn't quite fit into this, but still. Phoenix. Ah, Jimmy. Alright. I was looking for the fish. I was looking for the frog. Okay, so we get Jimmy, we get Phoenix. We're going full StarCraft over here, as it seems. We have at least 3 StarCraft heroes on the blue team side. And last but not least, again, Dragonshire, last map in this best of 5 series. This is a group stage, this is a full round robin. So which team locks in the extra points? We got on the red team side for the Heroes Lounge FC, we got Zarya. Okay, Tyrande, Zarya, Deathwing, Zeratul, and Cassia. Here we go, everybody. 5th game in our first series in Group B. Game number 5, the final map in the best of 5 series. A Scuff team on the left side going up against Heroes Lounge FC. Mr. Tycho on Anubarak. We got Limu on Phoenix, Mind Hawk on Kerrigan, Hanzuka on Whitemane, and Jayhard on Jimmy. Oh, on the right side of the map, Valla with Tyrande. We got Pajnox on Zeratul, Bokken on Deathwing. Grain Bray is playing Zarya, and Gimli is rocking Cassia with stacks on level 1. We actually got a lot of stacking. It's not only Cassia that has committed to it on the first talent, but also our boy Jimmy. So, right now we are going for the Crater Cleave. Again, already indicating that it's going to be a Void Prison that we're getting from Zeratul. There's a couple of hybrid builds that you can still go for, where you still play with Might of the Nerazim, but time will tell. First thing that happens, though, is that Kerrigan shows very clearly Why Mind Talk is a little bit known for playing her. This is a nicely set up kill by him. First blood goes once again over to Scuffed Team. So here we are. Down to the bottom of the map. Rotation between the mid and the top lane. Oh, sorry, the mid and the bot lane has already happened. And Zeratul. Nice reflexes, bro. That could have been problematic. If he gets hit by a stun in this situation, then he is a goner. So couldn't really make that happen. Now a few more hits coming in. Same time now down to the bottom of the map, though. We got Deathwing in position. Mind Talk still a threat. And the stacks keep coming in, not only for Jimmy, but also for Cassia. I mean, slowly and steadily. And this is a bigger problem. That's a kill. Zeratul is dead. Zeratul gets caught on the camp. Even if they don't steal the camp, that's already a win. It delays the camp for the red team. And in addition to that, they got the kill itself. Now Deathwing is jumping in, and Ubera can always dive out here, and they're retreating. So they're getting out of this. Shouldn't really be a problem for them. The camp still gets claimed, but it also means that Deathwing had to retreat from the bottom of the map, so Jimmy gets a bit more individual freedom that he can use to push all of this back. We have them with an early level 4 now as well. And that gives us the target acquired after the mobile offense. More stacking with the behemoth armor for Jimmy. Yeah, J-Heart is getting value, so he's going to stack this up as best he can. And as long as he gets stuns like this, it's going to be very easy for him. Nice defense, keeping Tyrande alive. But boy, oh boy, that was dangerous. Problem is that they might just lose an Uberak, and he makes it out. Barely. The cockroach got nearly burned to a crisp here. The Deathwing came in and hit it hard. Now, on the other hand, he is, only acting as a bit of a target for Jimmy, who's now at 13 stacks on the level 1. Obviously, he has to get, like, a lot more out before it's really a talent that, you know, helps and increases the damage properly. But, yeah. Zeratul again in trouble, and... Ooh, ho, ho. Limu. Yeah, that's a Genji player over here, just in case that you're wondering. Limu doesn't get Genji, he's been permabanned, but he's making the same plays. He got out though. So Cassia, she didn't. Phoenix is still up at the top, but yeah, Genji player detected, 100%. Oh boy. Now stacks are slowly coming together. We also get the cleave build continued by Zeratul. So yes, Void Prison, very, very likely at this point in time. Highly unlikely that we're going to get the Might of the Nerazim with the talents that he has chosen this far. Good luck with that. Yeah, I don't think he's going to stun out Deathwing anytime soon. Pudgenox, on the other hand, he might be hit. If he would have... yeah, well, actually, they get him. Yep, that is likely going to be a kill. If he has another... he should have his cooldown ready. If they can just follow up on this just a little bit, he might be down here. So, yep, first one barely missing. Could get the... yep. Oh my god, that was really close. Pixel perfect, more or less. Yeah, that one was problematic to say the least. Zeratul's adrenaline was pumping. I can tell you that much. And he's still fighting it out all the way up at the top. So Limu, he's forcing him back once more. Oh, of course, those rotations towards the top haven't really made it any easier for Zeratul. Down here, Cassia dies again, and Jimmy is just stacking it up. Not only does he get more and more hits together for the Behemoth armor, but his level 1 is also starting to give him some real value here. And with Deathwing being all the way up at the front, acting as the tank more or less, it's getting even harder for them. Should be the first Dragonite, honestly. Yep, there it is. So off we go. DK number 1. 5 minutes into the game with 5 kills to 0, and they opening up the bottom of the map as they are pushing even further for the fort. So we got a Dragonite that is already attacking this pretty heavily. And in addition to that, we are also looking at the mid lane that gets attacked here. Things are looking up for the blue team. There's no denying it. They're looking very, very strong. Nubarak gets at least killed, so that's maybe a bit of a silver lining on the horizon, given that it's the first kill that they were able to get. But not going to be an easy game for them, to say the least. Dragon Knight has done some damage in the middle, not too much. Thankfully for the red team, they were able to safeguard all of their forts, so they haven't lost any forts yet. You gotta take your wins where you find them, right? So that at least helps them slightly. Problematic, on the other hand, is the fact that they don't have level 10 abilities yet, but they're still trying to go for a kill here on Mind Talk and barely miss out on it. That would have been great. If they could have killed Kerrigan here, it would have gone a long way to keep a bit more momentum. But now Zeratul is barely making it out thanks to the wormhole. That was close. Jimmy, 6 minutes in. 31 stacks on the level 1, 24 on the Behemoth armor. 24 stacks on Cassia. A little bit behind where you want to be at this point. But yeah, we'll see how this continues into the late game. Level 10 abilities for both teams now, so finally we are seeing them on even footing again. And that could make some pretty interesting team fights. Zeratul and Phoenix just locked into this eternal dance that they have all the way up at the top. But the 4-man is what becomes really interesting now. And the 4-man setup for the blue team is actually quite powerful here. I mean, look how Deathwing is suffering. Deathwing turns into Deadwing. He's gone. Jimmy is just hitting it hard. And, well, they are trying to force him back, but he's literally battling it out with 2 heroes, which means that the rest of the red team has a numbers advantage in the middle, and that leads to another Cassia kill. She's suffering. I mean, she's really suffering. Cassia died 3 times already. Cassia gone 3 times in this game, and it is not looking good for her at all. She's lacking on stacks. She is dying a lot. I mean, both obviously a little bit connected. And they're losing more ground on these lanes. It's still only a level of experience that gaps the 2 teams. But in kills, you can really tell how these fights are going so far. It's not only the team fights, it's also very good rotational play that we are looking at from Scuffed team. Yeah, Zarya goes down. Limo expecting apparently a jump in from Zeratul, so he went for the ult. Now honestly, it looked a little bit stupid right now and looked like a massive waste. But I guess if Zeratul moves in, he is going to get murdered. So the ult should be up by the time they have another team fight, but you could really tell that he expected Zeratul to follow, which wasn't really the case. Now Jimmy's at 31, 38 stacks on the level 4 and 1. We have now also the Giddy Up over here, and with the level 13 Talon and the Acid-Drenched Mandibles, we got another advantage for Scuff team after they just took down the fort at the bottom of the map and now go for double shrine control, which could just empower, yeah, and it will, so yeah, he's gonna get it. Could empower our boy Nubarak. He gets it. And it's party time. Now the big difference here from Dragonshire to Tomb of the Spider Queen is that on Tomb of the Spider Queen we talked from the beginning about what could be possible in regards to combos for the red team and how they could in the late game at least make a huge difference. Now I don't see it. As scaling continues, especially Jimmy is going to become more and more powerful. These little fights that we're seeing now for the red team are definitely nice, but Phoenix dies, and with another Dragon Knight, they've already destroyed the fort in the middle, and keep in mind that they're now moving down to the bottom of the map to just clean house. Deathwing attempts to escape, that didn't work out, and that's a full 5-man team wipe as the entire team gets destroyed, and I just don't see the late game potential for them here. They're going to suffer in the late game as well, so this is an absolute brutal display now from Scuff team, and they are showing no mercy whatsoever. The keep at the bottom of the map gets destroyed before the 10-minute mark is even crossed, and looking at the damage number alone is already telling you the difference. I mean, look at Cassia. She's at 15,000 now. 15,000, whereas Jimmy is already at 35k. And we are only 10 minutes in, so his stacks are looking very good. In these team fights, he's gotten a lot together. He hasn't died yet. They only suffered a single death, and they already destroyed a keep. So if you're looking at another big team fight victory at any point for Scuff team or another Dragon Knight, they could start to go for the core. They're 12 kills ahead. I mean, there's a 12 kill lead that we're talking about right now. That tells you everything you need to know about the team fights in this game so far. So yeah, really, really difficult position to be in for the Heroes Lounge FC. I mean, they brought it to Game 5. They managed to bring it to Game 5, but now things are insanely tricky here. They need some coordination and some kills, and Tirana dying this early in the battle does not help their cause. So now it's Zarya that dies next. And Jimmy, look at him, he's just invading. They're all on the run. There's no fighting it. They're all on the run. They're trying to get some hits in on the retreat, but that's all there is to it. Deathwing dies, Kerrigan coming in and absolutely crushing it. They have a talent advantage. They are ahead in stats. They're going straight for another 4. They drop it 2. And it is... yeah, they're getting just crushed. Absolutely crushed. Shrine's activating again, and there is zero doubt who's going to get the next Dragon. How are you fighting against this? The only thing that they can try and do, and with they I mean the Heroes Lounge FC, is play a bit of a ring around the rosy game where you're just running away, trying to get access to at least one shrine continuously. Maybe use Deathwing for that a bit, but even that is a bit of a stretch. Jimmy's at 50 stacks on his level 1. He has 43 stacks on his level 4. That's insanely good for 11 minutes. As the game continues, this is going to become more and more impactful, single target damage. But he's going to... Pleb horse, by the way. What is this shit? No, 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 no. I'm sure you have a unique and epic mount lying around somewhere. So, he gets the Dragon Knight this time. Wer hat noch nicht, wer will nochmal? Everybody gets at least one. And now it's time to apparently go for keep. They're realizing that the death timers are low, that they might not be able to go for the core yet. It's only 12 minutes into the game, so instead they're working on more map control. Working straight in here. Alright. Going for another Deathwing kill, and they're missing it. 60 HP. All that he had. They can't get the kill, but he's also pretty useless at this point. So, as they go for the keep, Deathwing can just look from afar. Little that he can do here. Zeratul, he's trying to get kills quickly. He's jumping in, cleaving out, moving away, doing his best. But, yeah. Rough times. More hits coming. Zeratul gets locked down with a stun and pays the price a second later. Limu, again, Genji player. Jumping in and taking the second kill after he just dropped Zeratul. He goes for Deathwing and kills him too. And here we are on the core, once again the cocoon being used. And that is game! Scuff team takes the first best of 5 in Group B of Meta Madness here in the group stage. Congratulations, well done, nicely played, and GG.